welcome to Heart Expressions with Barbra.
87% of African American owned businesses make less than $50,000 a year.
Greetings and welcome to Heart Expressions with Barbra. I am your host, Barbara Gentry Pugh, and I am delighted to have as my guest Eva Toby.
Hi.
Hi, Eva. I am so excited to have you on the show.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Really, it is. Truly a pleasure. I'm very excited.
You just move all across the country, so we had to grab you when we could grab you.
I know. I had a little short window, and I wanted to make sure that I was here to speak with you today. So once again, thank you so much for the opportunity in advance.
And thank you for coming, because I read your book last night, and it was awesome. I read the whole thing all the way through.
The whole thing.
Yes.
It's quite an easy read.
It's a very easy read, but it's powerful.
Awesome.
Very powerful.
Awesome.
Well, not only is Eva an author, she is doing so many wonderful things. Eva is a model.
Yes.
She's going to be telling us all about going across the country modeling for Chevrolet.
Yes.
And she's a TV personality.
Yes.
Actress.
Yes.
An entrepreneur.
Yes.
A philanthropist.
Mm-hmm.
And an author.
Yes.
And so we're going to be talking about all the wonderful things that you do. And just reading your story in the book, and just even on your website, I just thought this is a dynamic young woman that the world needs to know more about.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yes,
I'm so humble by that.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I'm very humble by that.
Doing some great things, and you're on the move.
Yes, I literally do. On the move.
But you are making your presence known. And you have a wonderful presence, let me say that before we go on, and a very welcoming spirit. And so it's taking you places. You already know that.
Amen. I receive it. I receive all of that.
So again, it's just good to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I want to just talk a little bit about all the other things, and we're going to talk about the book. Because I think the book is very powerful, and that the reader can be blessed, and I want to get that message out. But I want to talk about some of the other things that you've done. So tell us about your acting career.
So that was like a little quick. Okay, first of all, everyone always kind of thinks I can be a character in a good way, because I have between impressions and just being silly. That's the whole other side of Eva Toby, outside of the business side. But a friend of mine from church, Angela, and her sister Chichi, they're really into like media and movies, and they were doing this film called Red Flags, and I was like, oh yes, anything to support independent films or just support fellow brethren and sisters in Christ. So literally, I remember driving to Atlanta, because they filmed it in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
And I had a nice small role in that film. So it's out now on like DVD in Nigeria. It's called Red Flags. They have several parts now. Red Flags, definitely. You get an opportunity. So I have a small part in, because now they have like 3 parts. So I was in the first one. One of the first ones. Yeah.
How about an entrepreneur? Tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing.
So I've always just had a passion about I knew, even though I've worked corporate, I've done all of that, I just kind of always knew that there was just more. Sort of like the book, there's just more for me to be doing and just owning my own. And I think with this whole branding process that I've gone through in the past 2 years, linking up with my publicist, has really just opened my eyes to that whole entrepreneurial world, and I love it.
That's awesome.
And I remember too, back in 2007, that was like my first entrepreneur venture. I had Extended Threads. That was like a fashion line for tall women that I launched, and I had like this fashion show at an art gallery in Royal Oak. It was beautiful.
Wow.
And that was kind of the seed that kind of got that going. Yes. And then from there, other things were born. Extended Expressions, which was my the series that I host and created, and then of course the Extended Productions, which is like encompasses all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're the perfect perfect fit for fashions. You got the height,
Yeah.
you got the look, you got the personality.
Thanks.
And we're going to be talking about the book. I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, and the whole, that was a process, you know, like that was some thought went into it. In a good way.
Excellent colors.
Yes, yes.
And of course, the inside the covers is a wonderful message. And
yes, indeed.
we're going to be talking about that. I'm impressed about your writing because as we were talking before the show, how many people really know their purpose? Do they really think about why am I here and what purpose does God have me here? He doesn't make any mistakes.
No, he doesn't. Nothing
So we're
is
here
by
for a
accident.
purpose. So what inspired you to write about purpose, the purpose factor?
So to start, I've always been, that's just me in general, anyone that knows me very well, I've always been passionate about other people's passion. I think that is my passion. Like to see people, whether you're in media, you have a gift for photography. I just love creatives and people that I'm just like, and I just like to motivate people to just do that. Like, or I'm just always the number one supporter of that. And last year, I experienced a tragedy. The book is actually dedicated to my cousin Thomas. And it was through that whole experience that even more I said, okay, I really have to get something out to make sure that people are doing what they have to do. Because in talking to people, and I travel quite a bit, so I meet quite a lot of people by the grace of God. And some that'll be just operating in what they're supposed to be doing, and it's a blessing. And then some are just like, I'm just here.
Just coasting.
And it's like, just coasting until the clock strikes, and then, and just thinking of that, it just makes my heart just bleed. And it's just like, no, you know what? I have to write something so that people can, even whether they're charged up or they know it, and then it just kind of gives them the more propensity to keep moving forward, or people that just were clueless and it's like, okay, I have somewhere to start.
Right.
Those are just kind of the motivations. And like I said, with the passing of my cousin, that I became so anxious during that time. Like I was telling you, just, okay, are you doing what you have to do? Everyone, I just felt like, and I came in contact with, like, are you really do you know what you're supposed to be doing? If not, get to it. And then that's how the Purpose Factor was born. I'd actually written, it's 7 chapters, and 7 of those points, it was actually like a small presentation I did for some of our youth at church about just, be successful.
Know
and
what you
just
want to do.
Know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Literally 2 or 3 years ago, and folded it up and didn't even think twice about it. Like, and even in writing a book, that was never even thought purpose. Okay. But after that whole experience last year in 2014, September, it just charged up, and God was like, this is what you have to do. That's why this book, it's not even about Eva Toby. Yes, I wrote it myself, but you can just tell it's just all to the glory of God. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, but the first few pages, you said you go to God. You go to the source to see what he wants you to do. And I thought, wow, you got my attention right then, because you cannot lose if you consider what he wants you to do, because he will anoint it. And he will take you places that you never dreamed of.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, and I think people are so fearful because it's like, but if you go to the source, he'll get you to where you need to get to. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about this, because I think sometimes the time is not right. I don't have the right money to do it. Excuses, and I think I wrote in the excuses. They're building bridges leading to nowhere. Like, you just have to put it in place. If you know that is the purpose and the desire, God, he doesn't lie. He makes no mistakes.
I think the first chapter is talking about clarity and having that quiet moment, the solitude.
The solitude zone.
Yeah, the solitude zone. We live in such a high-paced world. And I'm guilty, just running here and running there and doing this, and we don't have that quiet time like we should. We take a little time to get in the presence of the Lord. Yeah. But all the time your mind is like, I gotta do this and I really don't like that. But I liked what you said about finding that time, and when you're traveling, you like that time to just get in a quiet place.
And it's funny because people think, like I'm going to Miami next week, LA it's fun and you're in a warm place, but I really use those opportunities to just have my me time and just get into the really solitude zone. Because if I'm here in Michigan, of course I'm gonna be going, I gotta go here and I have to do this for my mom or my family, or, you know, you can get distracted.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, you might not have it, you know, but it's very essential.
Yes.
We're all guilty of it.
And because you really can't hear from God if there's too much noise.
How to move.
And you know, so many people that, you know, I'm going to do this one day. I wish I could do this one day. But you got to plan and you got to move and take action to make it happen.
Yes. You know, Miss Pugh, that burns me up. I just be like, ooh. It's like, yeah, I want to do this. And it sounds so good and grandiose and lovely. And then you see them maybe 6 months later. Okay. And it's like, oh, yeah, you know, the time was with pride and then this and that. Start with something. And I think I gave a testimony there, too. Remember, I was talking about, not sure if you saw that part about me taking the test to do my MBA, and I was afraid, and I was like, can you sign up? Just sign up for the test. Like, you didn't even sign up. You didn't make no action, but you know you want to get this MBA so badly.
You got to do it.
Do something.
Do something. Act.
Same thing, yeah.
And the next one really was one that really spoke to me, patience.
Okay. Patience.
You know, sometimes, you know, we want to act, but we want to act in God's timing because He will order our steps. And He has the right time for us. And the book speaks to that.
Timing is everything. There's a time and purpose for everything. And in the whole entrepreneur process, even in writing this book, I learned that. Like, okay, I'm ready to take action. Okay, but everything is accordingly.
You can't put B before A.
You can't. And so what happens? If you know you're trying to get to B, but you're at A, it's going to require what? While you're waiting in that gap, so to speak. Patience. You know, and a lot of us don't necessarily have that, or we have to develop it because we're you know, world is in a haste. Everything is haste, fast, media, haste, get it done, But along the way, you do have to exercise patience because if you jump ahead too soon.
And ahead of God.
Ahead of God.
Because if we're children of God, and we are.
We have
to work in His timing.
It says, be still.
Be still.
And know that I am God.
And move, take action, but move when I say move.
When you say move.
And that's awesome.
Yes.
And then networking probably is... God will He will align you with the people that He wants you to meet. He will bring people across your path. And so you had a lot to say about networking as well.
It's so important. Networking is kind of got me linked up with my publicist. Not kind of, actually did. You know, I knew a friend that knew someone, and then just kind of networking from there and linked us up. And she's been a blessing. Yesterday, Tywell of ICPR, of just kind of guiding me on this journey as well. I know people cringe at it because it's like, you know, especially if you don't really like to talk and you don't really like to get yourself out there. But really, it's someone that may be waiting. You don't know that. That person might not even know that that's the destiny helper that God has assigned to help you on your journey. But you won't know that if you don't necessarily
get out there and network. And I've met so many, as I said before, I've met so many wonderful not only women but men too in doing this, and I'm sure you have too. And it just gives you more information that you can use. You know, maybe someone else's story can help you. Networking is very important.
And it's encouraging and empowering as well. You know, because you might meet someone that has gone through something else, and you're like, oh, okay, just when you thought you might have been by yourself, and someone else has done this too. More than likely.
Yeah, well, I got a little spiritually jealous, if that's such a word or concept. I thought, Jesus, flying all across the country. Just this carefree, wonderful life. No, but, you know, if there's a saying that I could say, it's like you have it all right now. You know, you're doing the things that you want to do. You're following where God wants you to go.
It's and season.
It is. It's your season. It's awesome. The cheerleaders. And I read something. Everybody cannot handle your success. And
it's an ugly truth and harsh reality, but it is true. And sometimes those cheerleaders that you thought were your cheerleaders might be in your own camp, so to speak, your own inner circle and your own family or friends that you thought were your friends. And it is what it is. Everyone necessarily cannot handle that. So it's very important, especially as I'm learning through this whole process, to just have positive people in your corner that will cheer you on and want to see you succeed for the better and walking in your purpose. Because here's the thing too, this is just a tidbit for people out there that don't want to necessarily see other people succeed. That's the beauty of purpose. You have something that is just yours. It's your own lane. I can't touch it regardless of how many degrees or how much I train for it. It is yours.
It's yours.
And likewise for the next person and the next person. So technically, there's really no reason for us to be hating or anything. I said, if anything, be celebrating that you've identified that. Be celebrating that person has identified that and they're walking in that. That's the beauty of this the purpose factor. That is it.
Yes, that's awesome. And the people that you will soon find out who your cheerleaders are as you climb higher and higher up the success ladder. And I guess I've always kind of had the philosophy, when you don't really know a person, I've just said, Lord, show me that person's heart. Help me to understand what's going on. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. And He will do that. And so that will help us kind of identify really.
You have discernment, and you're like, because you'll see the true fruit. Check the fruit.
And then you'll know how to respond to those kind of situations. But there's a positive side to cheerleaders. They make you accountable. Keep you on track.
Yes. I talked about my first cheerleader in that book that, encouraged me to kind of just, okay, you know what? You can do this whole media stuff and everything. And I remember like, okay, so did you do this? What'd you do? Oh my God, it really, because you're like, oh God, I don't want to disappoint. I have nothing to say to this person that's going to ask me about, the accountability and the next day. And it keeps you on your toes. They keep you on your toes, your cheerleaders.
I just think about how God brings people across your path, like Linda, my administrator.
Yes.
That it was persistent.
Kudos to Linda.
When she first approached me about doing this, I'm like, well, I thought she wanted to interview me or something. I don't know. I don't think she kept saying show. I'm like, it finally hit my brain. I'm like, okay.
Show.
I might be able to do that. I'm not sure. And I've learned so much. So,
see, it's a beautiful thing. See, and it's people like herself that's like, okay, it kind of plants a seed. And then slowly but surely, as it's being watered, and you see us, and here we are. And
we have to be open. Because God just may send that person to have you to do what He has called you to do. So
openness, that's a good one.
Yeah, be open to that. And see, I always thought a vision board is like for teenagers, that maybe getting ready to graduate from go to college and start their life. But it's for adults too.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Can see visually, I'm going there. I'm doing that.
Going there. 1 million copies of your book, right? There it is. Write it on there. And then you constantly, and it just, I think too, at least for me, it just keeps that drive. Like, yes, I said this. Yeah, this is what I had.
Awesome. And then something your mom talked about, peace.
Yes.
That was so cute.
Planning everything ahead conserves energy.
That whole planning piece. That is so good.
It's so true. It's so true.
I tell you, it was an awesome book. And anyone that wants to kind of get on the right track, that want to kind of line up and find their purpose, you need to get the purpose factor. It will speak to you, and it will give you the steps that you need to do to find your purpose.
Yeah, it's practical.
And start with the source, as you did.
Yeah, start with the source.
Start with the source.
Yes.
And let's talk. You're from Nigeria.
Yes. So I'm a lovely first generation Nigerian, Nigerian American, as they say. Yeah. Well, I'm Nigerian. My parents are born and bred in Nigeria. So I always like to say I have the best of both worlds because having the Nigerian parents and family, and then being raised over here and born here. I was born in Toronto, actually. Okay. North America, or just here. It's a blessing. So growing up here and then still having opportunities to go back to Nigeria, and all my families, they're here and also a lot over there. I've just had the best of both worlds, and it's just been a blessing, and I absolutely love my culture. I think as I've gotten older too, I just appreciate it even more. So it's a good thing too.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
You know what, Eva, God has wonderful things in store for you.
Amen.
And you're on that path.
Amen.
And you're going to bless a lot of people young and old, with the purpose factor, because it has no age limit. You can be 45, 50 years old, and you can still find your purpose, because God put you here for a reason. And
you still have a pulse. You still have a purpose and plan.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
You're still breathing.
Yeah, there's something for you to be doing. And literally, when I wrote this, I remember when I finished it, I finally finished it, closed it, said my prayer. It's done, and I said, I just want you, Lord, to use this book to just, like you just said, just bless people and just be a blessing. Be a blessing.
As I said, profound but practical. You know, we think of fear and we just say, oh yeah, I've heard about fear. But when you're wrestling with fear,
yeah, you're right.
You know, when you haven't quite conquered fear, that can be a problem. And it's a very practical application that we can use with fear. The Word of God. I mean, you talked about prayer and scripture. I remember a quote you did. And I think the end result of what you were talking about is that God will get you on that path to where you want to go and find your purpose. You did through prayer and the Word. And,
which is my source for writing this book and this everyday life. Like, I'm nothing without it. And I'm constantly growing in that and just understanding God even more about myself and my own purpose. And because like I said, ask me maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, I might have been doing a book, but I didn't know if it would be about purpose or, you know, and that's just the beauty of God. And just now I'm here, and it's just amazing.
Isn't it amazing when you see the hand of God on your life? I mean, it's just vivid. You can see Him moving and orchestrating events. Awesome. So before we close, if you had a word to share with young women, well, maybe young and old, but particularly young women, if you had a word for them, what would you tell them in terms of finding their purpose and not be fearful, but fearless in finding their purpose?
So many words I would have for young women, because I have a passion for that and just young women in general and empowerment. I would just tell them, whatever you're going through now is temporary. Because, you know, especially young women, there's a lot of insecurity, self-esteem issues, trying to find themselves. It's just temporary. God has something so greater for your life. It's beyond your own even imaginations and expectations right now. So just really stay the course. And also, too, you don't have to fall into what's standard or what everyone else is doing. Know the beauty of your lane. Know the beauty of your lane. Embrace that and aspire and move towards that. Because even if you might not be feeling right and all the other girls are doing this and people are being mean, all that stuff is so temporary and it's so small in regard to the bigger picture for your life.
Yeah, and wait on Him.
And wait on Him.
To give you direction.
And
use your mother as the peace factor.
Yeah.
Planning everything ahead conserves energy. So wasting a whole bunch of time, you don't even have to do that.
You don't even have to
do that. So.
The energy of your life will conserve. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beauty.
That's powerful. I thought, go, Mom.
Yes.
That was good.
There you go,
Mom.
Right?
Well, Eva, let our audience know how they can get the purpose factor and get on the course to their purpose.
Yes.
And you might want to speak to the audience about your website.
Yes, sure,
and,
no problem.
How they can get in touch with you and get your book.
So, yes, you can get it on Eva Toby, EVATOBY.com. Also to thepurposefactor.com links you to there. Or, of course, Amazon. It's exclusively available on Amazon, both a hard copy and the Kindle version. So make sure that you purchase it for yourself or a friend. Like you said, sharing is always caring. And hopefully, by the grace of God, I'll be doing book signings in cities very soon.
You're all across the country. Just
books
with you.
Yes,
awesome.
So definitely. And that's how they can find me. I'm on Instagram, it's Eva Toby. Facebook, Twitter, Eva Toby. Everything, Eva Toby.
All right. Yes. And I will add, you will be blessed. You will be blessed. I was blessed.
Amen.
I'm an old lady. I was blessed. It's a wonderful
fabulous.
book, and you can get through it and be blessed.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming, Eva.
God bless you abundantly and all that you're doing too. And I just greatly appreciate the opportunity and the platform to just share this, and many blessings to you and your venture with what you're doing here. I think it's awesome.
And you will be great. Remember I said that.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Eva. It's been a joy.
Thank you so much.
This is Heart Expression with Barbara, and we will see you on next time.